promise to help each other, celebrate the joys of life, and to console each other.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, Ham Solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's time how we do. Hey. They said we said we it. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we it. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard. Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you in red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go.
Promise to help each other.
Yo, what's cracking? What the hell? Oh, okay. Hit the wrong button. Man, I hit the wrong show button. I was like, what the hell is this one? I made that one for a different reason a little while ago. But anyways, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bull Sitting. Here with your boy Ham Solo. Loke is out taking care of himself and his family. I'm here with Matt Likes Games and also Cozy Beluga today. And that is it. We are the only ones that are going to be on this show today, and we got quite a bit to talk about. Actually, it's been a pretty interesting week. Seen some pretty cool things kind of evolving and happening. Some not great to a lot of people, but let's first talk about what everybody's been up to as of lately and see how everybody's been doing. So, first, brother Matt, how's it going? How you doing? What you been playing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good
Hanging
today.
hanging out with Pauly D.
Woo woo.
Yeah. Caught an Uber and it was Pauly D. Listening to Tupac and Snoop. I don't know what was going on in that car, but I was pretty glad to get out of it. I was pretty glad to get out of it when I got home. But nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. I've been playing. I beat Dragon Age, and that was great, and it got me in a Bioware mood. So then I'm on Mass Effect, and I'm like, I'm going through Mass Effect 2 right now. Ideally I would beat 2 and 3 before Stalker 2, but that's just probably not likely. So I want to try to get Mass Effect 2 done before Stalker 2. And if I still got some time, I'll probably boot up Mass Effect 3 as well. But right now, just playing Call of Duty. Something a little mindless, something I can focus on the show a little bit more. And just relax. But that's what I'm up to.
This bird sounds like it's freaking getting choked.
That bird is turned up.
But what's going on, Cozy? I mean, obviously, I think your bird is telling us to call the police right now, and I'm thinking about doing it. I mean, I got my phone right here.
Oh
I
my
got
goodness.
about 4
It
buttons.
sounded so
left to
bad.
hit.
Nah.
I'm about
I
to
don't know
call
what's
the
up with
police
that.
for
But
that
yeah.
bird. Save its life.
That was just general. No, I've just been working on some projects, keeping busy. I haven't been playing as many games as I would like. Mostly I just like stick to Starfield and Overwatch and Neon Abyss. But I'm excited to be here, and I got one of these kits.
Those kits.
It's like you basically make little fake donut treats.
You don't eat them though?
They don't taste good. So one of the kits, I'm disappointed that the new versions of the kit. So initially it was like flavored. It was savory. So it was gross. That's what it was. It was like, so they had like, it was like a burger and fries and stuff, but it was all sweet. It was not sweet. It was like all,
Terrible.
yeah, it was terrible. It was. I'm not gonna deny. It was probably one of the most terrible things I've ever had.
So you do eat it?
You can eat them. They're edible,
Okay.
but they're not good. They're not good at all.
Yeah. I would
Yeah, and this
imagine.
one, and I was like, well, at least the soda will taste good. Like, nope. It tastes. Imagine salty soda. Salty.
It's just sweat. Just carbonated
That
There's
just
sweat.
actually a drink
sounds
called Pocari Sweat, and I really love it.
nasty. None of
Wait,
this
what?
sounds good, Cozy.
It's called
That's
Pocari Sweat.
terrible.
Well, there's the salt flavor. There's the salt
Yeah,
flavor.
it's called Pocari Sweat. It's a sports drink.
Is it carbonated?
No,
Oh.
it's I don't know. It like, I always used to get it from the Chinese grocery store. They had this one that was called Miracle Body 5 or maybe Miracle Body V, and I can't find that one anywhere anymore.
So these are real drinks. Like these aren't just a part of your thing. These are just real drinks.
Yeah, see, Hollywood December says salty soda with a question
Yeah.
mark. Like, I don't know.
It
Doesn't
wasn't
sound
very
good.
good. Then I thought the soda
Doesn't
would at least
sound
taste
good.
okay, because I mix this hamburger paste and this bun paste and this fry paste, and none of that was, and the cheese paste.
God, it's just
And then you
You're
Is
just
stuff
it
saying
it in
a,
these
flavor?
little
you're just saying
trays
a
to make it.
bunch of things that shouldn't be legal. You're just saying a bunch of things that really shouldn't even be like allowed to be
The new set ones they have are
produced.
not sweet though. They're are sweet now. They used to be savory, but now the new ones are sweet, and I kind of want to try it.
I think I really hope, Cozy, that you stay on TSWS gaming forever.
What?
I mean, you are irreplaceable. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right
Yeah,
now.
no one else is doing that.
What?
No one else is doing that.
Yeah, like you are something that I've never seen in not a female, not a male, just a person.
Just in general, yeah.
Just in general, you are just something. I don't know what it is, and I don't even know if it's great. I just know that it's just something else. And I tell you what, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not offended by
Someone has to be the first person to eat the
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
And why not cozy?
Somebody sure does, I guess. I suppose. All right. Well, that was a turn of events right there. And so, as for myself, Ham Solo here, obviously. Like I said, Loke won't be here. And hopefully he'll be back Monday, but I'm not really sure as of right now. But I've been just playing Dragon Age. Like, this is all I've been playing. Just Dragon Age. It's been a journey for me. Like other than Dragon Age, like what have I been doing living wise? Uh, I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
See, I got through Better Call Saul, and I thought that was fantastic. And if you want to go in the correct order for the show, then you go to Breaking Bad after Better Call Saul. I've already seen Breaking Bad, but it's been like I don't know, like a decade, damn near since I because I watched it when it was live and it was coming out on AMC, kind of like The Walking Dead way back when
Mhm.
and whatnot. I was there like back when cable kind of meant something a little bit, kind of a little bit, but like cable's like nothing now at all. It was barely
Yeah.
even hanging on then. But that was like one of the few things that kept you on cable was like Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, and like some of those type of shows. Comedy Central was fairly decent. They still had South Park's coming out and stuff like that. Like TV channels actually had
Stuff.
functioning things to watch that weren't just bought up by subscription services quite yet. So I was watching Breaking Bad then. It was fantastic then, and it's just as fantastic now. But I had forgot about a lot of the stuff that happened because when you watch Better Call Saul, although they're technically older in the show of Better Call Saul, the actual like writing for it puts you in the past of events that happened leading up to Breaking Bad. And then after Breaking Bad, then there was El Camino, right? That's a movie that they had,
Yeah.
right, Matt. So
Yep.
I'm working my way to get to El Camino, and then after El Camino, I'm going into one of Matt's favorite shows on Netflix. What is it called?
Squid Games.
Squid Games. I've never seen Squid Games, and I heard that
Fun
joint.
It's
squid
so
free
damn good.
games for those of us who don't do squids.
Yeah, something like that. I've never seen that show, and I still don't really understand it, other than it's like a game that they're trying to win or something like that, seemingly, or something like that. I
They're
guess
trying to win it. They are
they're
trying to
trying to
win it.
win something. They're trying.
They had the
I don't
squids.
understand.
There's
I don't
I don't believe there's squids in that game, but
What?
they're trying to win it.
Then how is it a squid game with no squids?
You gotta watch it and find out.
I want spoilers.
I'm not
But
gonna spoil. I don't think
yeah.
Ham wants spoilers.
No.
I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, Breaking Bad's been dope. I'm at the last season of it right now. So let's see, if I were to say the last thing that had happened, the most notable thing that had happened is, face. I'll just say part of somebody's face is gone.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
they're ringing bells.
dude, it's such a like wondering situation because you're like, man, would you have done the same thing? Because like I don't know, it felt like he had options, but he like chose the wildest one possible.
Mhm.
But yeah, that show's great. As for video games, just like I said, I've been playing a ton of Dragon Age, having a great time in that game. Last boss that I got through, I don't know. I've been doing a bunch of cleanup stuff, like just doing things just around the. Because like I said, like I had my qualms or whatever, however you say it, about the story and about like the RPG kind of elements of the story and how you go about it. But like I said, the story isn't bad. Like it's interesting still, and it's a really fun game and fun enough for me to want to keep doing different missions and going versus the champions of that area and knocking them all off and just trying to get through other people's stories. So then, like, when I get into certain battles that are key to the actual game, they're available to come through and possibly help.
Yeah. Can't wait for you to finish that game.
But anyways, let's go on ahead and hop into the first topic of today. I gotta go tell my wife something here in just a moment, but
Oh, tell it on the mountain.
All right.
Okay.
Because you're on it. The first thing we're going to talk about is Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo console market isn't growing, says Phil Spencer. before I read this article, because I am going to read some of this. We're going to go through this a little bit because I'm kind of interested in what they actually have to say. I want to hear. I want you guys to tell everybody what you guys think about just this statement alone, that
Mhm.
console market isn't growing. Like it's and I think what he's essentially saying is like you put out new device, it may get up to great, but it's not, but nothing's like really surpassing, or like it's not like going global as he thinks it could possibly. So you guys go on ahead and talk about that real quick. I'll be right back. I just gotta go tell my wife something.
Yeah. You
Okay.
want-
So, I've been saying this for ages. I've been talking about this for ages. That the
Yeah.
console market is long stagnant, and I think people hear stagnant and they think that it means something worse than what it is.
They may think it's dead.
Yeah.
Never mind. Wife was
Yeah.
already on.
It just means that it's not the explosive growth. It's like a settled market. It is what it is. Um and like a lot of console gamers, they don't want to hear that because they have this idea that they are the center of gaming. But a lot of other things are happening, and what you're going to really what you're
Did I
going to
just hear
see
the bird say yeah?
I
I'm pretty sure I heard the bird say
that's
yeah because you
exactly
said
what
really, and it was like
happened. Oh my goodness.
hit you with the nod, like yep, motherfucker, yeah, it is like that.
It's a settled market though. It is what it is, and I think you hear a lot of gamers who don't want to hear that. They think like, "Oh, Xbox is dead. Everything else is going to just explode and it's going to be this big, same thing." The not only are the youth not nearly drawn to consoles and don't care about this stuff the same way we did growing up, but hardware is the access point, and we can get much better things if we can expand beyond what hardware capabilities can do, because at some point actual hardware, it already is. There's lots of things you can do that on with supercomputers and servers that can't be done on hardware already. And I think that's going to be the future and where gaming
May I
advances.
throw a wrench in your engine real quick?
Okay.
I'm throwing this right into your serpentine belt. You're gonna feel it.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
um, uh, I want you to tell me what you would like added or put onto a device that would make you more interested to get a console, seeing that you are as dialed in as you are for PC.
I think if this Xbox handheld is really just an Xbox but handheld, and I can physically install things and such,
So
then
portability.
and then it'll be exactly what I need. I am one of those people that's like excited about hardware being just a piece of the puzzle. The idea of, you already know, cloud gaming, play anywhere, things where I can just be like, move, download, cloud, physical, all those three components
Well, you
for me.
remember, Cozy, back in the day, music hit a huge boom when those Walkmans and stuff came out, right? Oh
Yeah.
shit, your music is with you now, everywhere you go, and then it turned into the skip CDs that you had, and then you finally got the anti-skip software that came on there or whatnot. That or software and hardware and shit that came on there. But like, but continue, please. Yeah. Being able to be portable is a big deal.
Yeah, and being able to not just keep all that stuff, but move how you access that stuff. I think, openly being able to, when people talk about like, oh, well, I can play this where I don't need that. I love that. That I think people are ridiculous at looking at that as a loss. That's a gain. You know how many people you can tell like, oh, you don't need that to play this game. And they're like, oh wow, really? I'm gonna try that. Like I was telling like my coworker, he's not really big into games, but he wanted to try that new Call of Duty. But he was like talking about how he doesn't have anything to play it on. And I was like, hey, didn't you get that new Samsung TV? And he was like, yeah, because he'd been bragging about his new Samsung TV. And I was like, so, you know, you can try it and see how that works for you. And he was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try that this weekend.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I like where your head's at on that on this topic so far, Cozy. Because I mean, obviously, we would like that handheld. Um, my last question to you about this before I move on to Matt is, how do you think they're only going to go the cloud route, or do you think that they're going to figure out some sort of way to implement what was made and purchased on console accessible at some point on a PC?
I don't think they're only going to go the cloud route. I think they're going to do physical. But I think with PC it'll probably be a while. But what we're going to see is something where um ideal like but PCs would have to be powerful enough for this. And I feel like you know what? Actually, I take that back. I feel like they can make some smaller device that can dual boot. They could make their own device. But the problem I think with PCs would be you'd have to get the equipment onto people's PCs. And it might be something where it's like partial cloud. Like you need an internet connection, but you could download the games and you'd need some layer of translation or some skin to run those games on.
Okay, so you think eventually it will be something that is, geez Louise, that bird is getting choked up. Cozy, you gotta do something.
She's singing the song of her people. She's gone now.
She
Oh,
is. She is singing some song of
she's back
some
now.
sort of people. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, I mean, I do think at some point they do get that switched over, but I don't know what that's gonna take. That sounds like a tough ass job to do, especially for all different sorts of. I mean, you have to more or less wait for the other developers to somehow figure out a way to be able to do that for you to be able to, or like I don't know, you'll have to figure out some sort of licensing kind of mumbo jumbo to kind of get that figured out as well. I don't know, that sounds like a lot of work, but anyways,
This is
Matt.
the emulator. I think that would be.
Yo,
Emulation, I mean, that does make some sense. I could see that. I could totally see that working. If you purchase it, then you get the license to emulate it. um yeah, I could totally see something like that working. But Matt, so thoughts on Xbox, and or more or less Phil Spencer saying that the console market isn't growing. And might I add something before you start? He's been
yo.
saying this for years, bro.
Hmm.
He's been saying. I mean, at this point, this is like the fourth time that I'm having a show saying this in like a different time of year or different, you know, time in history, like it feels like. But here we are, right back, hearing the same stuff again. Thoughts?
Uh, I mean, he's there's a reason he keeps saying, and it's because he's right. Because I mean, it's not a growing market. It's not like I don't know if you would say stagnant, because in some ways it's also kind of getting smaller. Uh, But like, for example, look at what's the highest selling console of all time, the PS2. It's like 150 something million consoles sold. Like, in fact, yeah, okay. Here I have the list. PlayStation 2 is 155 million consoles sold. The Switch is 146 million, so that's great. Uh, PS4 is 117 million. PS4 is like a resounding success. Like with like as much as I loved Xbox last gen, the way they handled that, PlayStation 4 was a resounding success with almost no competition last generation. And they sold 117 million to the PS2's 155 million. So, I mean, like it's not growing. It's definitely not growing. He's saying that for a reason and he's right. Uh that being said, I don't think it's something like, the death of the console kind of thing, or at least not anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, he's right. He's absolutely right. It's becoming niche to the point where, like, I mean, I think I posted on Twitter yesterday because people were freaking out about his comments that I'm sure we'll talk about later, or not his comments, but people were freaking out about the Xbox advertisement that they put out yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. And it was like everything's an Xbox, like your tablet, and they showed like a Steam Deck, an ROG Ally, they had the console, they had just your TV, like everything was an Xbox console. And I posted, I know people don't like this, and I even said I don't like it, but if we're realistic, ask a child, ask any kid, do they care about where they play their games at?
They
No. That answers no to that. Most of them are playing on a tablet or a phone. And then obviously the Switch is there as well, but most of them are on a tablet or a phone. And Xbox, Microsoft is leaning very, very heavy into that. So like, while that ad might not be an ad for me, I might not like that ad. I mean, they keep talking about mobile, and there's a reason they keep talking about mobile. It's because all the kids who would be prospective Xbox users at some point in their life are on mobile. And that's what they're targeting. And so their way of targeting that is, hey, everything is an Xbox. So it's like, I mean, yeah, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
For sure. Before I go on ahead and add on to that, I want to shout out Stanley Francois. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a little while. Good to see you. Shout out to the usual that's always here. Ray Chi. Good to see you, brother. Chris Abraham. Good to see you guys coming through. Hollywood December. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Share this thing out. Rick Fur. I see you up in here. Ron Slusher. Yeah, I haven't seen nothing crazy from Ron yet, so I'm surprised. And then I got Oz the Wiz up in here. Appreciate you showing up. What's cracking, you guys? But anyways, yeah. So nothing new that I'm seeing right here. I took. Oh, shout out to Poison Maniac. I see you up in here. But yeah, nothing new for me really. I mean, you know, who really put me on game? Oof. Who really put me on game? Slam my goddamn knee. Was Ray Chi. One of the last times that we talked about this. So shout out to the chat. You guys that speak and talk about this stuff as well. We listen, and that's why I have to shout y'all out whenever you guys are in the chat talking and whatnot. I appreciate everybody else that's watching, whether you're participating in the chat or not. But those of you in the chat that speak, I do appreciate you guys because you guys put me on game sometimes. You guys teach me some stuff, and I go on ahead and look it up for myself and figure out, oh, they're not wrong. Ray Cheese talked about this one of the last times that we brought up this subject about the console market not growing. I remember he brought up some numbers last time. I can't tell you the specific numbers of every generation, but he brought up the numbers. And I went through and I was looking at some of them, and they were pretty much like identical, right? I mean, he may have rounded some or whatever, but they were pretty much identical. And it was like every generation it's like damn near the same. Somebody has a crazier lead than somebody else, but it's like the same. There may be like a one standout generation, but it's only by like a couple million, not a jaw dropping million, like not like crazy millions, jaw dropping, like moving the needle. And the whole point of what Phil Spencer said a long time ago, which I'm not trying to say I love every piece of his strategy, but the whole point of his strategy is to get to like what did he say, like 2 billion gamers or a billion gamers or something like that.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. I mean, it's literally that's like the definition of like insane. Like you literally got to do something completely different, completely wild. And so like this whole because they've also brought up like acquisitions, how they're not done. I remember IGN did an article just recently, and we already knew about that. We already knew a long time ago. They actually spoke on it a long time ago, saying we're not done yet. We're getting Activision Blizzard, we're getting Bethesda, but we're still not done. And I remember immediately everybody started thinking Sega, 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 right? Everybody started chanting for Sega and stuff like that. Some people thought it was going to be Techland. Some people thought it was going to be Square Enix, right? So like it's still up in the air what they're going to get. I personally think that they're probably going to cop Crystal Dynamics. Matt said Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal together, I believe. Didn't you say that, or did somebody else say that?
Yeah, they should do that.
So yeah, I mean they said they're not done with it, right? And my whole thing looking into this is like they see that we're clearly going digital, right? Digital first. Everybody's asking us to get things that are more digital than ever before. You get a Steam Deck, you're not plugging anything into that except a SD drive, right?
Mhm.
That's it. That's all you're plugging in. And if you want to plug in anything exterior, you get the dock or something like that, and then you plug in whatever the fuck from there. But like everything's trying to go digital at this point. So with that being said, them trying to get purchase all these different publishers and developers and stuff like that, they want to have their own massive catalog and still have good deals with other companies. And that and I actually said this on Twitter the other day. I think it was just yesterday. I put down, as much as people are saying this PlayStation game is great on my or this Xbox game is great on my PlayStation, I'm not sure that's as big of a dub as a lot of people think. Or, like, do you realize that you're chanting for the other team to fill your streets? You're saying, yo, the developers for this actual product are selling less than the competitor on your platform. You're constantly funding your competitor. I'm wondering if at some point Sony's gonna be like, nah, man, we ain't taking that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're literally like as you're keeping them eating off of your product. You think about it, maybe not this generation, maybe not next generation, maybe not even the generation after that. But if what Phil Spencer said was true, that he was just like, oh yeah, we're just going to keep making consoles, which we're going to talk about that as well here in just a moment. If they're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to keep making consoles and we're going to keep buying publishers, like it could be a problem. I already see people on Twitter and stuff like that. Oh man, Call of Duty looking way better on my PlayStation. Everybody gonna buy again. PlayStation saving Call of Duty, and I'm just like, y'all realize what you're doing right now? Do you realize who you're laughing at? Like it's not good for PlayStation. They need to make a competitive product that where they don't need the teat of Microsoft. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm sorry if that sounds crazy, but that's just my interpretation when I see it. Right? That's just like a Walmart brand walking into fucking your local store. Mine's Hy-Vee. Everyone has their own local store that's probably regional and saying, "Yo, take my shit and sell it." And they sell it for lesser than you selling your own shit. Who's reaping the benefits? Whatever. It don't matter what box you selling it out of. That's the way they're looking at it. I'm not saying I love it because I like the whole competition aspect of, you get this for this, you get that for that. But what Microsoft is doing is fucking diabolical, and I ain't gonna ignore that. But anyways, so the article in particular, because I did say I was gonna read a little bit of it. It says the video game console market isn't growing. Microsoft gaming CEO Phil Spencer said in a new interview, and that's part of the reason why you don't need an Xbox to play Xbox these days. The console space all up isn't growing across all of them. Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. We love we love those consoles, but in terms of continuing to expand and growing Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, it's about making our games more available in more places. Spencer told Rolling Stone. Just because the console market isn't growing, that doesn't mean that Microsoft is abandoning consoles. Spencer said Microsoft will definitely do more consoles in the future as well as other devices. None of this is a surprise, as Microsoft has already confirmed a next gen Xbox that promises the largest technical leap in Xbox history. As for the other devices, Spencer may be referencing to the Xbox handheld device that was a few years out. Excuse me. Um, Also, in the interview, Spencer reiterated that Microsoft is probably not planning a mid-gen Xbox refresh like Sony did with the PlayStation 5 Pro. He said, "We don't need to do incremental hardware uh, uh, for our own benefit." That line right there, dude, is fucking foul. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm reading into it, but that line to me is kind of foul. He said, "We don't need to do incremental hardware for our own benefit."
He's not wrong.
You see what he's saying, though, right there, right?
Yeah. he's it's it he's not lying though. He's totally right.
He said the only one benefited off of that shit is Sony, right? That's what they're saying about the Pro right there. That is messy. All right, Phil. All right. Anyways, he says, let's see, where was I at? He said, does a new device give you a unique experience on screen in some way? Years ago, the leap between the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 was significant in terms of graphics and performance, Spencer said, but these days it's harder to show the benefits of more performance hardware alone. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about that? Like, Cozy, I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think
Yes.
about what he just said right there? Like, he said years ago the leap between the original Xbox and the 360 was significant, but nowadays it's harder to show the benefits with more power alone.
He's
How do
right.
you feel about that?
He's right. He's absolutely 100% right.
Why?
Because um we are at a place where we've seen the fall off already of the, what do you call it? There's not an exponential growth in what they can show as far as, making a game look better and doing more. There isn't much difference between, honestly, games this gen and last gen. Sure, you can get a little better, but there's so much that can be done in those areas. He's absolutely right. So, like, the whole idea is, like, you get, like, an Xbox or a PlayStation Pro, and it's like, oh my goodness, the water looks so much clearer. Oh my goodness, now you can see even more of the veins on the leaves. Like, little things like that. And it's just not worth the research and development for their very little payoff.
Yeah, I think a quick and simple and easy answer is that to that is like just look at Nintendo.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just look at Nintendo, right? Like all you have to do is kind of just build an IP that's sticky, that people really want to be around, that people really want to play, and then
Like Viva
you as a
Pinata.
business have to figure out a way to make that IP continue to keep going and push in different areas and make the character develop and then somehow some way make him marketable to be able to put into other games that could be fun to play as well. Like it's easy to see what they've done with Mario and Zelda and Super Smash Brothers with all the different characters like Ness and Captain Falcon and stuff like that. Like it's clear to see that like you just have to really give a damn, not only just as you know the people willing to like pay for it, like the Satya Nadellas and whatnot, but you have to actually have developers or head developers that are in control of making games and stuff like that actually care about what they're actually making, and have them actually have a vision that just doesn't stop at one chapter. They have like 5 to 6 or 7, and I'm sure writing something like that isn't easy and doesn't come overnight, but to me there's just too many goddamn people in the world to have that excuse. Like there's so many people that are hungry out here to try to get their story onto paper, whether it's in a TV show, movie, or video game. They don't care. They just want to get their message out there. And I think there's no better time than now to do that, especially with all these different programs and stuff like that that actually assist you with correcting things, getting grammar correct, or like getting things translated properly into different engines and whatnot. I mean, I had a excellent interview, which I'll show a little video clip of it here in a little bit with this dude yesterday. It wasn't even an interview. We were just kind of chatting it up, but we were talking about a game that he was making. His name is Game Dev Micah, and he was working on a game in Unreal Engine 5, and it was just fantastic. It was just fantastic. His whole thing about being a game developer is he likes things to be destructible. So like he does not like being able to take a big gun and shoot a wall and it's static. He's like, I want to see a dent in that wall. I want to see a hole, or I want to see the wall falling apart or something like that. Which I'll show you guys some pretty cool stuff that he is working on. But pertaining to this article that we're talking about here, that's really what these two platforms, that being Microsoft or even Sony, are really dying for, is something that they could really like if you look at the way like they really love Horizon over at Sony, and Xbox really loves Master Chief, but has fumbled the ball, right? And right now they're like on their own like 10-yard line with 90 yards to go, and they got to figure out like how to drive this thing. And for Sony, it's weird with Horizon because it's like such hit and misses with the way that they use that IP. And I mean, I personally don't love it, but I see why a lot of people do love it because it is a showcase of the tech of the talent that they got over there at Guerrilla Studios. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, seeing that the way that they maneuvered with Horizon and the Lego game, that clearly hasn't paid off very well so far. So like I'm wondering if they're gonna actually see what they had with Astrobot and try to make more with it, which that game it didn't it sold well, but it didn't do very good attachment numbers for consoles. So like I'm hoping they go further with that and make it maybe make a different type of game with it, kind of like what they do with Metroid, right? Where they got they got the side scroller Metroid Metroid game, but then they also got Metroid Prime, right? Where you're a first person shooter and you're doing some wild shit and stuff like that. And I think maybe Astrobot might be a little too goofy for some people, but I would like to see them maybe try something fun and wild like that. But anyways, so we did say that we were going to talk about like the console thing, right? Which I'm not sure if I actually have a page on that, but oh yeah, it's right here. So shout out to Hazardor Gaming, and yeah, shout out to the chat as well. I haven't like been paying too much attention over there, so let's
Mhm.
actually go over some of the
Oh
chat over
yeah.
here and see what they've been up to. Ray Cheese says the market stagnated because the value is gone. Handed down smartphones are free. God damn. I mean, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. I mean, I ain't even gonna front. I've given my daughter. I mean, my daughter doesn't have it now because she's like the Switch and she has her own tablet now. But before that, me and my wife, struggling parents at first, I gave her my old cell phone. I just turned it on, wiped it, made sure that she only had a couple apps to use, and she'd always ask, "Hey, can I get this game on there?" And she just play games off of that all the time. I'm over here playing, these consoles, but she's playing the games. There you go, Ray Chi with the facts right there, though. But Stanley Francois with the what's happening. Um, Ray Chi came back just a little bit ago and said Xbox is so progressive. When I played the the ad quiz, they congratulated me for getting 4 out of 11 correct answers and telling me I'm awesome. uh they don't want to hurt my feelings. Oh, apparently not. They still want you to buy. They still want you to buy. They don't want to say you stupid though. I didn't call you stupid either. I'm just saying 4 out of 11. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. He goes on to say my logic was 150 million PS2s plus um, 24 million OG Xbox equals 175 million consoles. So, okay, so I mean that's kind of I mean as wild as that sounds, it's not too out of the. I mean that's like look at this generation. Like, dare I pull up the numbers of just last generation?
For sales, PS4 was 117, and the Xbox One was 58 million.
How much was it? A PlayStation?
Oh, 117.
117. Xbox was like 50. You said
58.
58, and then Nintendo with the Switch, which came out much later.
Is at 146.
Which which also like I'd say cut that in about half maybe, since we're talking about just last generation.
Mhm.
So you said how much is you said 146,
For the Switch, yeah.
so 70.
Yeah, about 70.
So that's not insanely. That's millions off. Don't get me wrong. From
Well,
what
also
Rachel
got
was
to take
saying.
into account for the PS2 plus the Xbox, you have to take into account the GameCube, which is like 20, what, 25? Did they sell 25 million? I'll look that up. Well, it's actually right here. The GameCube sold 21 million.
Okay, I thought we were talking about last generation.
No, because I was more referring to Raichi's point of the you add the numbers for the PS2 plus the Xbox,
Oh,
you get
plus the Xbox.
175, and you have the
Oh, okay,
GameCube
yeah,
in there.
that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, it's still not drastically grown from then all the way then. That was 20 plus years, but just about 20 years ago, right? And now today, yes, Nintendo does count. He said Nintendo doesn't count. Yes, it does,
Why don't they
because the
count?
numbers haven't really changed.
They absolutely count. They they like break records. I mean, well, not every time they make a console, but a lot of times they make a console. They do stupid numbers.
When they make a console that makes sense,
Yeah,
they do crazy numbers, right? All
they
right.
count.
But anyways, let me get back over to the chat. Let me see what somebody else saying, because Raichi's saying a bunch of stuff. But I'm seeing his point. So of course PlayStation blows, showing up. Look at Nintendo. All right,
Let's
got it.
go.
Fuzzy Tomato, shout out to you. Says the short load times were the big feature this gen. People forget how long load times were last gen. That is a fact. That
It
is the big
is.
feature this generation. They're catching up to PC load times on stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, definitely load times. I agree with you there, Fuzzy Tomato. And yeah, so Rachie was saying that it doesn't count, but we're gonna ignore that because that's not true. But anyways, Phil Spencer over here. So it says, as we were saying in the last article, him on console. Shout out to Hazard Gaming for this little bit of news. Says we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices, mid-gen refresh, yada yada. I already kind of talked about that. Golly, that this line right here is just so disrespectful and unnecessary. Phil Spencer always gotta say something a little spicy, but like nothing like too disrespectful, but definitely something to still kind of throw a little gas on the flame a little bit. But yeah, Matt. So I asked Cozy this question. I gotta ask
Oh
you
yeah.
this question as well now.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Ty says the same thing, that Nintendo doesn't count. We shouldn't put
They
them in the same
absolutely count.
market as Xbox and Play.
Well,
That's silly.
I guess okay, Nintendo doesn't count if we're only doing PlayStation versus Xbox. But if we're talking about consoles, then they absolutely count because they're absolutely there all the time. So, like, if it's just PlayStation versus Xbox, then sure, I get what you're saying. But like, other than that, they count.
It's weird. I don't know. I feel like a lot of fans of PlayStation don't like to add Nintendo
because because PlayStation is likes to think it's what Nintendo is. Then
Yep.
PlayStation is like our first party, but if we're honest, people aren't buying PlayStations to play God of War. They're buying them to play Fortnite and Call of
Exactly.
Duty. Uh
PlayStation's only in first place if you don't count Nintendo. That's pretty much it.
All right, but anyways, I was asking Cozy earlier what she thought Xbox would need, and I'm talking about like not handheld wise because she already kind of talked about that, so I'm discounting that as an answer. What
Mhm.
does a console, like a home console, and if you feel the need to chime in as well, Cozy, have at it. But what would a home console need for you to want to like buy into the next generation? I think we kind of got it clear that promises you shouldn't go with that.
Yeah. Uh, what does a home console need? For Xbox specifically, or just we're talking just hey, a general thing.
Um, let's just say for Xbox in this case, since they're the ones talking about
Yeah.
future consoles and other devices. So what's maybe a console that I mean, obviously, okay, so I feel like the console thing is kind of obvious because you wanted to just play your games, right? But when you
Mhm.
hear like other devices or possibly um maybe something that the console was missing that you feel that it needs, what would you like to see in it? I got my own personal answer for this,
Yeah.
but I want you to go first.
More integration with PC, and by that I mean kind of. I mean, we talked about it many times on the show before, but like uh, more integration with like PC storefronts. If especially if their whole thing is like the multi-platform thing, I mean, you mentioned being diabolical earlier. The most diabolical thing you could do is basically what they're doing now, but then also build essentially a PC and have it like an open platform, as open as it can be. I mean, it is at the end of the day still a console, but make this open platform device where I can play anything that I'm offered on Steam, Epic, whatever GOG, any whatever storefront you want to put on there. Because I mean, speaking of diabolical, where does Sony put their games on PC? Put them on Steam. I mean, until they make their own PlayStation launcher, which maybe they do. They might have to if Xbox ends up doing this. But like, yeah, like that's the thing that would like. I'm already a fan of Xbox. I'll get the next Xbox just because if I'm playing on console, I'm playing on an Xbox. That's just kind of the way it is for the most part, unless PlayStation has something that's exclusive that I need to play. But like the thing that would get me super excited is having it more of an open platform with different storefronts and everything. Make it more like a PC. I mean, put it this way: the Steam Deck is right there. You take that whole interface and just put it onto a console so you can plug it into your TV. That's it. Just make it Xbox. Just forget the whole Steam part. Just make it Xbox. That whole interface, put it on your TV. Would be perfect.
Okay. Um, I would like to see, and correct me if I'm, just tripping, Matt, but I would personally like to see. I'd like to see Xbox get DLSS,
Yeah, that
like
would be a
for
huge difference maker.
like because like basically what I'm seeing. is like a lot of the things that we'll need for consoles and stuff like that going forward is more or less upscalers. Unless you want to go get a PC, it's just going to be really hard for something within a $500 five to $700 range do something without like its own like whether it's proprietary or whatnot, its own like like big time upscaler that they use all the time,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
well,
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but if I'm not mistaken, before this generation started, they were talking about their own like proprietary upscaling techniques, which would,
They
I
were.
mean, if we ever see them, that would be essentially what PlayStation's doing with PSSR. I mean, you give or take if it's better or worse or whatever the case may be, but it would be their own thing that they do. I mean, I'm totally like that's definitely something that they should be looking at because FSR's like it's good. It's good. It's just that when you have other options like DLSS out there and you see those options, like I know you've played on your PC, you've used DLSS, I've used it. A lot of our friend group has used it. You jump from DLSS to FSR, you can tell. You can tell there's definitely a difference. And if they can get something that's a good middle ground or even as good as DLSS, then that's huge. That would be absolutely huge.
Yeah, just something that where they could have some sort of preset for it, right? Because I know on PC, like there's DLSS, but then there's all these different, all these others like different sliders and stuff like that that you can, use to kind of balance it with however you wanted your DLSS, right? But I feel like for a console, they'd almost have to come out with their own like version of it that's already has the presets done for it. You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I asked you if you knew what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought you were content. It's my
No.
fault.
No.
Yeah,
All right. So I mean, I am definitely interested in it, but yeah. So that's something that I'd be looking for, and they're also kind of like Matt kind of referred to, um, having different storefronts would be kind of cool too. I don't necessarily need it because Xbox is still primarily my storefront. So I
Mhm.
I don't really need that, but it'd be pretty cool to be able to play a game from my Steam library on the same hardware that I'm sitting on my couch using or playing. So I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying I'm not sure if I'd need it if Xbox is already getting all the games that I'd need to have. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mhm.
let's say they buy another publisher. Let's say it's Crystal Dynamics, and the next, you know, Tomb Raider that's coming out. It's on Game Pass or whatever. I mean, that's not another storefront I need to hit. It's just there, right?
Yeah.
And I like Tomb Raider, but that's not like a game that I'm running out to buy. So like if that goes to Game Pass, I'll play it there, or else I probably wasn't gonna play it.
Mhm.
That's how it is for me. I know I'm probably making some people like Tomb Raider. Are you crazy? I'd play that shit. I know Matt would play that shit.
Oh, I'd be all over it. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah. That'd probably
Yeah.
be the way that I'd get it right there. Is Matt to get that shit day
Yeah,
one,
you'll have it.
and
You'll
then, and
have
then
it day
I'd end
one.
up being able to play it because we game share. But like, I mean, it's the same the other way around. I got games that Matt's not interested in that I buy day one, like college football. I'm there. Like
Yeah,
I'm like college football for me is like Matt on 2K. It's just you feel stupid doing it, but you just do it. You just do it.
I have to.
You just
I
don't even
can't
question
not play
it.
basketball.
Yep, I have to play. and I need this roster.
Exactly.
And I know you assholes are gonna hold that roster hostage on the next game.
You absolutely
Oh
will.
man. Shout out to Ty though. I see him up in here. He says earlier he was saying yeah, I'm not rereading. Okay, so let me try to gather my thoughts together. I'm just gonna go ahead and read. He says they don't count Nintendo actions. Um, they don't count. They don't count because Nintendo's actions do not materially affect Xbox and PlayStation. PlayStation and Xbox actions do not also materially affect Nintendo.
Well, I mean,
Xbox
in that
Line
case,
Bethesda affects Son.
not really.
It affects Nintendo as well. I mean, Nintendo got Skyrim just recently.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It
say
benefited.
Nintendo. I
It
wouldn't say
benefited.
PlayStation is affected terribly at all, especially if the new strategy is what we seem to think it is. I would say it doesn't really affect PlayStation at all. The only well, I guess one thing you could say that it affects is what Ham was talking about earlier is, hey, we're gonna sell you Doom Eternal on the PlayStation, but we're still getting that money. If you want to talk about that, then sure. But you could also say the same thing for the Nintendo, because sure as hell Microsoft's going to release games on Nintendo. They're going to get some of that money. So it's like I don't think it affects PlayStation affects Xbox versus Xbox affects PlayStation or Nintendo versus any of them, any of that combination. I don't think any of them affect either one more than the other. So I
Yeah,
think they're all in that same group.
I think they do affect each other as in being in the same market.
Sure, yeah,
They
that's
affect each
fair.
other in that way. But like in the terms of what they find as success, I think all of them are completely different. Like Nintendo finds success way different than Microsoft finds success. You see Microsoft going jumping up and down while everyone's making fun of them, and they're like, "I don't care. We're getting bucks." We're
Yeah.
Hmm.
getting paid over here. And then PlayStation, they're dancing with their consoles and whatnot. They're happy with that. But just like Microsoft's sad with consoles, PlayStation's not that happy with their games right now. They made that clear that I'm not saying that they're saying that their games aren't good. I'm just saying, like, when they look at the numbers of their games, they're wondering, hey, why is Microsoft selling a game to us and they're making more money than some of our games that we're putting out? That is a question going on there.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a continuing question as they continue to drop more stuff on there.
I think it's largely because Nintendo had to build themselves a sustainable ecosystem, and they did.
They
Yes.
did. So the way that the way that the way that Nintendo looks at Microsoft purchasing stuff and sharing it with them is not the same way that PlayStation's looking at it. It's not, because PlayStation was very third party getting their games.
Hmm.
So it affects PlayStation because it's just like they're buying Xbox is buying what PlayStation would keep away from Xbox, compared to what Nintendo did. Nintendo said, fuck all of y'all, I'm making my own shit. And they did that for years. And now look at them. They don't need nobody. They're looking at Xbox buying it and saying, hey, we're going to share with y'all. And they're saying, oh, yeah, we'll take that too. That's
Yep.
cool. Thank you. We'll take Call of Duty. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, Nintendo is
Why
like, oh
not?
yeah, we don't need these games. Well, we can live with these games. Whereas as much as people praise and as much as how great the PlayStation exclusives are, PlayStation cannot survive without third party. They cannot. Like, you take away their exclusives, they'll be fine. But you take away that third party, they need that.
Yeah.
All right. So let me move on. Poison Maniac says when Sony bought Bungie, they did count, according to Sony.
Wait, what?
He's just saying they counted when Sony purchased
Sony
Bungie.
counted? Or
Like he's just saying in this conversation that we're having, they counted as well. So like, you know, Nintendo buying or like Xbox buying stuff, Bungie counted as well. So I think that's what he's trying to say right there.
yeah.
This is dirty right here. He says, I didn't know Nintendo didn't sign a contract for COD. They yeah. No. All right. Ty is saying there, but notice how Nintendo is immune to that decision. Notice how Nintendo is immune to it. They're immune to it because they worked their tail off to not need ABK.
Yeah. It's because Nintendo puts out like 1 trillion first-party games a year. And
covering all those bases. You want to play a shooter?
Exactly.
They got a shooter.
Like they make so many games that like yeah, like they'll happily take, you know, if Microsoft says, "Hey, you want Call of Duty on the Switch too?" They'll be like, "Fuck yeah, sure." But do you need Call of Duty on the Switch too? No, not really. We don't need it. We're not dying for it, but we'll happily take it. It's like I don't. That's what I'm saying is I don't think it affects one more than the other, really, in the grand scheme of things.
It only affects it if you made yourself susceptible to it.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's no different than many other businesses out here. It's just like, yo, like Burger King is not affected by McDonald's buying Chipotle. They're not.
McDonald's bought Chipotle?
Yes.
God damn, I didn't even know that. I work at Chipotle.
They've been done.
Yeah, you work at Chipotle. Yeah, they own Chipotle.
This is like decades ago.
Oh, okay. That's fair then. Fair enough. God bless McDonald's.
But what I'm saying is, it's just like, you know that, like, obviously McDonald's is going to allow Chipotle to do what Chipotle does, right? It only affects Burger King if they then buy Qdoba. Then they're in direct competition all over again, right?
Yeah.
But if they go and buy fucking what is it, Panda Express? The fuck? No competition. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Or if they make their own business or, you know, do whatever, it's just totally different. It's if you make yourself susceptible to where you need others to be great, then it just is what it is. Xbox has been fighting, trying to get some of this stuff that PlayStation's like, no, we bought that. No, we bought that. And they're like, fuck that. We're buying what you've been keeping away from us. And Nintendo's like, yeah, that's fine. We never needed that anyways. And in fact, if you guys want to give us something, that's fine, but just know that we don't need
Yeah.
it. And I mean, that's some powerful shit. But anyways, let me move on. So Rachie with the $2 super chat says Xbox just needs the 30% microtransaction commission. I mean, that's kind of what they're saying, right? They're just like, I don't care what y'all do. I don't care if y'all go out of business. I don't care if y'all stay in business for another 50 years. Just keep paying me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Be Nice. Be Nice in the chat saying, what up, gamers?
Yo,
people are going crazy with this ad. So yeah, you're talking about the Xbox ad. So I didn't have that on the slate, but I'll put it on here just to bring it up, talk about it. I can't play the music that's on it, obviously.
Before you get into that, Ham, you should check out Vinny's Super chat. You should give his friend a shout out there.
All right, so $5 super chat from Vinny. I don't know what he said yet, but he said, "Can
Or-
I get a birthday shout out from my friend Dixie?" Okay, wow, yeah.
Shout
Got-
out to Dixie Wrecked. Shout out to your friend Dixie Wrecked.
She's watching right now. Yeah, you thought I was just gonna throw that out there without thinking. That's great. I ain't gonna lie, it didn't help. Matt was laughing. It did make me read it a little bit more.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I had to read it a little slower just because I heard Matt laughing. I was like, I don't want to run into a wall right here. Shout out to Uso Vinny in the chat with the wild shit. Oh no. And then Vic is back with a $2 super chat.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Look at this. Ball what was that? Baltasar and Gonga
Nganga.
AEC Vic. I'm pretty sure I tried to say that last week and I just chopped the shit out of it. I was just like Battlestar Galactica and Ginga. But anyways, he says Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Cozy. Fuck yourself. Fuck yourself real good tonight. All right, AEC Vic. Have a good time. But anyways, the disrespectful super chats just keep pouring in, and I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you so much. Shout out to Be Nice. He says, how many games should a platform hold in their hand a year? How many exclusives on average being dropped between platforms? So ideally, I would like to see 4 per year from both of the platforms. And if they have an off year where they have 3, whatever. But 2 feels kind of slow because then it's like probably at the beginning and then the end of the year. And 1 is just a long ass year.
Yeah.
So I'd say like 1 a quarter would be nice. And I'm not even asking for them to be like Starfield long ass games or, Fallout long or whatever. I'm just asking for like something good that I can enjoy throughout that quarter. That I can look back and be like, that was a cool game this quarter.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Cozy? What do you think?
I think I'm in a different total mindset because I can always find a cool game. I've never in my life not been able to just find a
Well,
game.
we're not asking that.
The
Well, I mean, we
the
can all
question
do
is,
that, but the question
yeah.
is particularly like if you were to like be looking forward to Xbox games next year, and you had and you had a PlayStation, and you do have your Switch and whatnot. Like for the Switch, like how many games would you like to see come out from Nintendo themselves per year if you could like imagine that?
Well, see, that's where I differ. I don't necessarily look at a platform and say, "Man, I really want." When people talk about my thing is collecting dust, I don't look at it in that terms of that way. Like, if I never got another Switch game ever, I would totally still be satisfied with my Switch. I still have games for my Switch that I haven't even opened.
I understand that, but I think
For
you're
this
missing
question,
the
you wouldn't
point
be
of this
satisfied.
question. Just
I
just for this question, Cozy.
put my hat up.
It's not asking what your demands are for these
Yeah.
consoles.
And this
This is not.
hypothetical world,
Yeah.
how many games would you like next year? Cozy, Nintendo says, Cozy, we have blank amount of games. How many games does Nintendo say they have for you?
Well, yeah. Let me put it this way: if you were to buy a new CD player,
Mhm.
how many new CDs would you like to get? Or how many books per year would you like to add to your shelf? New books.
Okay, let's just go back to games because those are even weirder questions.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
uh,
Hopefully it made more sense though.
but you know, like I have to have 5 games I want. Shut up! I have to have 5 games I want on a console to
To
even
purchase it. Yeah, you did say that before.
to even get one. And after that, anything else is it's really hard because it's like anything else is just a bonus after that.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. So like for a new console to even come out, you're just like just need 5 games.
Yeah.
So I don't need so you're not looking at it as a per year thing. You're just looking at it as a this is my thing because it has 5 different things on it that I enjoy.
Yes. And the things have
That
to already have been released too.
of course it was an off the wall answer, but Cozy
Yeah,
wouldn't
and it's
give
not
us
so it's not like,
anything less.
"Oh, here are upcoming games, I'll buy it." If once the games are 5 games are released and I can buy them, I'll buy that, whatever, and those 5 games and I'm good.
Oh man, I love it, Cozy. I'm happy that I can just come to a conclusion. Most times, 90% of the time, I'm like, yeah, all right, I see what you're saying. I'll rock with it. That'll work. All right, so Matt's just like, just whatever. But anyway, shout out to the chat again. You guys make sure please hit the like button, share this out if you can. If you're new, subscribe. We're literally here every Friday. Every Friday we're doing this. It's either us three. Hell, it's even been just me and Matt before, but it's usually at least 4 of us here.
Matt eats
Um,
boogers.
it's supposed to be 5 of us here with a guest, but I didn't get a guest ready this week. Loke's been going through his own shit, and mental is just mental. He's mental is doing his own thing. He has a really busy job, so I never blame him if he can make it or not. I mean, I'm happy that brother enjoys doing what he does. But anyway, shout out to oh my goodness, these names are crazy, man.
I
Like,
was
come
waiting
on,
for you to
yo.
notice that. It, it's
Jack. Yeah.
it's
I'm gonna say it slow and painfully. Jack in awe. 007. Oh
it's
my
Jack
god.
Knopf,
It- it-
007.
yeah, Jack Knopf 007 with the $2 super chat says, new listener here. Really enjoying the show. I'm really
That's got to
enjoying.
be Vinny.
Oh man, I mean
That's
that's great. That's great. I don't care who it is. That's great. That's great. Anyways, continue to enjoy the show. We're gonna move on to the next topic that we have on
Uh-oh.
deck today, which is going to be something kind of interesting. Matt, I'm not sure. I'm sure you might have seen this news. It just came out earlier today. But it is Blizzard is apparently hiring for an open world shooter game. And I remember not long ago there was, rumors about there possibly being a StarCraft shooter game. And I'm just, I'm not
oh
saying this
yeah.
is what it is, but I'm saying that that's kind of what I'm thinking it could possibly be. But before we talk about it, let me just read a little bit of it just so we have some information behind it before we dig into it. So it says this is by Eddie McCook from GameSpot. So, and it was written today. Blizzard is hiring for an unannounced upcoming open world shooter game. A job ad posted on November 13th revealed this. Though the requisition doesn't have too many details about what the game is, the job ad for the Associate Design Director Innovation says This person will be the vision holder and owner of key strategic innovation for the upcoming unannounced open world shooter game. The job calls for someone to help implement strategies that have shown potential but have not yet permitted um, the AAA space. The successful candidate will work with Blizzard engine art or engineering art and audio teams to help guide the project from concept to release. This wording specifically suggests whatever the game is, it might be in early development. According to the job listing via BGC, a successful candidate can expect to earn minimum annual salary of $124,000 and $124,400 with the potential of reaching $230,300. This job ad was only posted this week, but journalist Jason Schreier, new book, Play Nice. Oh my God, okay. Play Nice, The Rise and Fall and Future of Blizzard Entertainment contained a passage mentioning that a StarCraft shooter, like I was saying just a little bit ago, it is or was in development at Blizzard. Whether or not this newly posted ad is connected to that is unknown. The rumored StarCraft shooter was said to be led by Dan Hay, the future Ubisoft and Far Cry veteran who joined Blizzard as vice president and general manager in 2022. As part of the as part of the iterative, geez Louise, I cannot say that word.
Iterative.
Iterative, thank you, geez Louise.
Yeah.
Iterative nature of game development, Blizzard canceled about 50% of 50% of the games it works on. We did hear about that with the person that left Blizzard not long ago, Mike Ybarra. He was working on a game over there and that got canceled. I do remember that. But he says in January this year, Microsoft announced Blizzard had canceled its survival game codename Odyssey, with some staffers moving over to an incubation project that was said to be a StarCraft shooter. So kind of like what I was saying at the beginning of this article, I thought it could possibly be that StarCraft shooter. Matt, you go first. What are your thoughts on Blizzard hiring for somebody to help, put everything together? It seems like what they're asking for.
I mean, I hope you're right. I hope it is a StarCraft shooter. StarCraft is like one of those things I am from afar very interested in, but
You're
I
trash at real games.
will go with that. My ADHD won't I can't manage it. I mean, I can try, but it'll be terrible and I'll probably hate it. So I'd rather not. But if they're making like the world seems interesting, and if they're making a StarCraft shooter, and that's what this is, then I mean, I'd be all over that. I'd be all over that. And I remember somebody, I can't remember what show I was listening to recently, where they were talking. It was back when the news about them working about a StarCraft shooter, like first the rumors first started happening, and they were saying that it would probably be a whole lot like what we got with Space Marine 2, which I absolutely love Space Marine 2. So if we get something like Space Marine 2 in the StarCraft universe, I would be extremely happy with that. And hopefully that's what this is.
All right, Cozy, thoughts, StarCraft. Were you ever big into it at all? And would you like
Yes.
it to become a first person shooter? And then also, obviously, let's talk about this article that just happened. So, first, let's go with StarCraft first. And then I'll dial back to you, Matt, and to answer more about the higher?
So the reason StarCraft was a game that I liked and had fun with was because I had a Mac and it was like one of the games I could play without doing, using wine or anything. And that was amazing. So yeah, I'd be interested in StarCraft. I like it. I'd be interested in more StarCraft games of, because I'm all about variety, like within a universe.
Okay. So you're with the idea of a first person
Yeah.
StarCraft. All right. So I'm gonna ask you both this before we go back to that second part of the question. What kind of game do you want this shooter to be? Like, does it need to be a RPG? Does it just need to be like an action adventure? Does it like what kind of what kind of direction are you looking for in this kind of game that they're thinking about making as a first? I'm assuming probably a first person shooter, but just a shooter in general.
Um, I think not an RPG. Ideally, it should be a it should be a ideally it should be a kind of like open world, I guess, hopefully shooter with options of like multiplayer.
So I'm like thinking something like obviously not like similar story at all, but something like a Borderlands. Is that what you're talking about?
Something like Borderlands, something like what's the game? Outer Worlds? No, no, not Outer Worlds.
And it's definitely not Outer Wilds.
No.
Uh, I'm interested to hear what this game you're thinking of is.
Oh my goodness! The game that where they crash land on the planet
Crash Land on the Planet.
and then they get powers and their ship is still out in space.
Is it a recent game?
It came out in the last like 4 years. It was on Game Pass.
I mean, I know Outer Worlds you crash land, but I don't know what that game is. If it's not Outer Worlds, I don't know what that game is.
I'm just looking.
Vinny said Risk of Rain.
No, actually, although we like a Risk of Rain like game, that'd be awesome. Come on! I'm trying to find the game.
Well,
Ah, Outriders.
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 Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Gotcha.
Where you have some sort of customization, but you're kind of just
Yeah,
going down the same route.
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sappho, welcome. Says they changed the engine in that game 3 times. Of course, it was getting canceled.
Oof.
Talking about the game that Maki Bara was working on, I believe.
That's a lot of times.
That is. That's a
Yeah.
lot of different engines. Jeez Louise. What's cracking? Mike Johnson just rolled through. Good to see. Good to see. Ray Cheese says I need a date sim visual. Oh my goodness! Get
Shut
outta
up and take my money. I honestly think
here.
making more things
Shut
into
up, Cozy.
no, like,
course.
but a date sim
No.
visual novel. Think about all the kind of games you could be like, like, you know what? You could probably find like a some side people who just make a date sim, and they probably, and it's a good idea. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Cozy, I'm gonna have you read this super. I mean, not super chat, but just this chat. I'm gonna have you read it. Check it out.
Wait. I'm trying to get. Okay. I'm illiterate.
No, you're not.
Well,
You are with that
I
attitude.
thought you were gonna read it out loud.
Wait, which super
It's
chat?
on the screen.
Oh, what do you think about the M4s, Cozy? And I think StarCraft needs to return to its roots. I don't know about the M4s. What are
Do that.
M4s?
Well, we're gonna have to wait for an answer for that because I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Either.
but I think for how I feel about all games are, I don't Oh, I haven't had a Mac in about a decade.
Is that what she's talking about? Is a Mac?
Yeah. I haven't had a
Oh
Mac in a
yeah.
decade. So I don't really know what's going on with them. I left when you no longer could update the RAM on the MacBook Pro, cause yeah.
You couldn't download RAM.
Upgrade.
Download. Well, yeah, download. Same thing.
No, you just put new ones in. You just popped
I
out the
just
RAM.
download RAM. I've got like 564 gigs of RAM on my PC right now. Just downloaded it.
You know what? I'm gonna fight you.
You
Um,
were stupid.
but
Anyway,
StarCraft, as far as StarCraft returning to its roots, I'm one of those people as I love new things, but I understand people are fans of specific games for specific reason. I wouldn't like it if they just turn StarCraft into, say, a dating sim. I wouldn't, because even if I would like that game, I understand there are fans of things, and I feel like I'm not necessarily a part of, well, not StarCraft, but if I'm wanting a new type of game, but because I like the world, I don't want it to take over what the game is.
I think that one right there is for you, Matt. He's letting you know.
I mean, tell that to my computer. I got like 1,000. I got
Gigs
like
of RAM.
1,000 gigabytes of RAM on
I
my
like how
It
your
went from
number changed.
500 to 1,000. Just
Yeah,
an
I know his
announcement
number
just from
changed.
Matt.
It's,
How much?
it's just
How many
riddled
gigs
with
of RAM did
viruses.
you? How many gigs of RAM do you have,
He's got a
Matt?
terabyte now. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a terabyte of RAM on this. This thing's nuts.
Yeah, man. Oh man, he's fucking speeding.
Oh,
Oh
oh,
man.
Vinny,
Oh man,
he
Vinny.
downloaded a
Vinny
4090.
yeah,
Vinny downloaded a
he
4090.
downloaded the hottest new graphics card.
Exactly. All you
Oh
gotta do
man,
is find the right site.
that's great. All right. So yeah, going back then because we needed to finish this piece of the topic so we can move on to the last quick couple of topics. But as I was asking, so what do you guys think about them actually hiring somebody? So Cozy, you first.
Hiring
Do you
someone?
do you feel like, they already have enough people or something like that, or do you feel like, they clearly need more direction or something like that? Because it seems like, not that long ago they had people that could do this stuff, but they
They
got rid
got
of
rid
them.
of him?
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. They probably got rid of the people. There's also, it might be a thing where they have to post it, but they'll hire internally. A lot of companies do that. They post it, but they're not actually hiring externally.
Yeah, just putting somebody on the project. Yeah. Um,
Same question. I mean, you're reading this, guys. I know you read the screen.
yeah.
And my Raspberry Pi has a
Oh
4090
yeah,
in it.
my
I mean,
Raspberry Pi with its 4090.
Jago 6 is not wrong because I have a fucking wicked gaming computer because again I downloaded all this cool ass stuff. So, but no, to answer the question, or like yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, especially for an open world shooter. I mean, it's not something that you see very often. from Blizzard. That style of game. Obviously, they've done open worlds before. You look at something like Diablo. They've done it before, but like to make it a shooter specifically, something that they don't have too much experience with. So it's good to see that they're. It's good news in that the fact that they're actually, whether it's internal hires or bringing new people on, whatever the case may be, it's good that they're doing it because then that means, hey, it must be progressing at least somewhat, and that's always good news because I'm I love shooter games. This could be an FPS game, it could be a third person shooter, whatever the case may be. I love that stuff. So I'm pleased. I'm happy they're hiring people for it, and hopefully it goes somewhere, and hopefully we hear about it. In the coming years.
Yeah, shout out to Sappho because she brought up well, the initiative hired Insomniac's creative developer, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us, see these different companies, and we're just like, we have them mentally so separated, as if like one would never work with the other or something like that. But that, I mean, that's so far away from the truth. It's actually the exact opposite. Like, it matters, just like it matters for you. Like if you worked at fucking if you worked at fucking Walmart and you got offered $5 more an hour by Costco, you're not even thinking about it. You're out of there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're just like, yo, Costco's, yeah, I mean, they're giving me a similar health plan with way more money. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing to think about. I'm out. It's time to get paper. They don't care about, like, I mean, sure, if they're the lead of the project, maybe they have more care than many other people. But most of the people are there to feed themselves, their family, their pay whatever debt that they got from getting into college, and trying
Yeah.
to pay rent, whatever it happens to be. I mean, they're all the same motherfuckers as we are, right? We're just trying to live, right? If we do something while living that's, monumental, cool. But for the most part, I'm just trying to make sure I can put dinner on the table, not just today, but tomorrow and on into the future. And that's what all of these motherfuckers are out here doing. So shout out to people that are getting into these positions, because I mean, I had quite the salary, 124K. It's not a lot of money, to be honest. That's not a whole lot of money. That's like I mean, that's a one bedroom apartment in a lot of places, to be honest. That's
Yeah.
a one bedroom apartment. The potential to reach up to 230,000. That's a lot better.
That's decent. Pretty
That's
good.
fairly decent right there. Right. So I mean, I'm not trying to say 124,000 ain't shit, because obviously it is a pretty good amount of money. But like, if you're just looking at like how much it costs to live nowadays, it's not a lot of money. It's just a livable amount. It's more than a livable amount of money. This is the way I want to put that. That's like a comfortable living amount of money,
You'd be
depending on
loaded
where you
with
live.
that.
Depending on where you live. If this job is hiring for California, 124,000 ain't shit.
Yeah, if it's if it's
Like,
hiring down here, then shit, I'd be
yeah,
set.
yeah. If it's hiring in the Midwest,
I'd be a millionaire.
yeah, you are balling. If you are getting either one of these checks, as a single person with no kids or anything, 124, you're balling. You're doing pretty damn good for yourself. With the expectation or potential to get up to 230, you're doing just fine. You are doing just fine. I'm just saying, if you got a family and you living in California, 124 ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's weird how that happens depending on where you live in the same fucking country. It's crazy, but that's what happens when you have state-ran countries. That's just what it is. And also, imports and shit like that. Yada yada. But anyways, let's go on ahead and move on from this topic because I think we hit everything that we wanted to with that. I don't really care. I was gonna throw on that Ubisoft, the Tom Hardy led Splinter Cell movie is dead. Surprises no one. So I'm just gonna keep moving from that. That's something. That's news if you want to call that news, I guess.
Yeah.
That happened. Let's see what else do we got for today. Okay, we got two more things. They're fairly small, not a whole lot to talk about with them, but we can have some fun with them real quick. The first one I wanted to bring up is Avowed. Got a new trailer and a new announcement as of recently. You know what? I'm gonna have some fun and do less. I'm gonna step back and let the person that's most excited about this game talk about it. So Matt, impromptu, talk about Avowed and what you think about everything with this. Ask questions to us if you feel necessary.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Avowed, before it got delayed, it was my most anticipated game this year. Obviously, it gets pushed, and I think they even just did a new release date for it because originally it was the 13th of February, and I think they moved it to the 18th. Right? Am I correct in saying that?
Well, yeah. It says right here the 18th.
So, so that's interesting because they moved it from the 13th to the 18th, but then they did the premium edition so you can get 5 days early access so you can get it on the 13th.
That's slimy.
So, and here's the thing.
That is slimy. That is some slimy
Shut up
shit.
and take my money.
And that's exactly. Here's the thing. Who am I kidding? I'm not gonna not get that. So I mean, I pointed it out. I pointed it out. It's slimy. It's shitty. Shame on you, Microsoft. But I'm not gonna not play it 5 days early. So take my money when it comes to that.
God, you filthy. You just like what they said in was it Home Alone? You're a fucking filthy animal.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
I totally am.
Here's the thing. Right. It's called. They always say vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet. Then they don't like the way you vote.
Yep. Yep. You know what? I agree with Cozy on that one. I'm voting with my wallet. Give me that game 5 days early.
Matt's standing on business. Matt is standing on business.
That's what I want.
He said, "You cannot take me. I am buying this. I am getting the 5 days early, and I'm sorry for the game that you hope for that it doesn't happen to, but I'm supporting this."
Yes, I'm absolutely supporting this because I need it. But dude,
filthy animal.
I am hyped. I haven't okay, so RPGs are my thing. RPGs are my thing.
Are they?
Well, I'll say this. They haven't always been my thing. Because the first RPG I played, which got me into playing other ones, was actually Skyrim. And everybody says Skyrim, well, they took a lot of the RPG elements out of it from Oblivion and they dumbed it down. And it's like, well, it worked on me because it got me into the whole genre. So, fair enough to them for that. But since then, RPGs have kind of been I like FPS games or just shooters in general. I like RPGs. And then I like, the occasional really big story game like a Red Dead or whatever. But this game, like I said, I'm super hyped for this game. So I didn't see the new trailer. I'm actually interested. You said they dropped the new trailer.
Well, it's just this trailer right here. It's just a trailer of it talking about coming out early and stuff like that with the digital art book and
Gotcha.
stuff. Not like a gameplay trailer or anything.
Yeah, didn't they also announce a steel book for this, which is the premium edition or whatever, the premium edition steel book?
So let's go to it. Let's check it out.
And then I know there was also some other news that we'll check out with this too, because it's actually there in the tweet. that BattleNet.
So there, here you
But
go, Matt. You can check this out, or I'll read it and then you can talk about it. All right, since I'm controlling the mouse.
yeah,
But it says Avowed arrives February 18th. Pre-order the premium edition to start your adventure early. Avowed Obsidian's Entertainment upcoming fantasy RPG launches on February 18th, 2025, with pre-orders beginning today for Xbox Series S and X, the Xbox app on Windows, BattleNet, and Steam, or play it day one with Game Pass. The premium edition offers up to 5 days early access to premium skins and access to the Avowed digital art book. Oh my god, I can't wait until they stop doing these.
yeah, it's not necessary. If I
The
want the art book, I'll take it
digital
physically.
art books, like I've yet to really know anybody that takes advantage or uses
I love
these.
the digital art books.
There you
Ooh,
go.
there you go.
There you go.
Soundtrack, I don't really mind the soundtrack, but like if you're gonna give me a soundtrack, give me a way to access it.
Off my console on a platform.
Yeah,
Like that's what I
that
want. I 100%
like
agree with
I
that.
love like gaming soundtracks are dope, but like if I can only access it on my console, that's not where I'm listening to music unless I'm listening to it while I'm playing the game, in which that's a separate application in which I wouldn't be able to play the game at the same time while listening to the soundtrack. So it's just like you're giving me something that I really don't have very much or good use case for.
Nintendo gave out the best soundtrack. It was for Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it came on this little thumb drive, and it was like this cool like game themed, like something object from the game, and it was just like wow.
I
They really
personally think PlayStation did it best because you just pop in the CD from their video game into your goddamn CD player and you can hear some
CD
music.
player. What year is it?
I know what I'm
It's
talking about, but I'm just talking
2003.
about of all time. I'm talking about of all time. Like you could actually like I have Twisted Metal. I can pop that into a CD drive and listen to the songs from there.
Yeah.
I might even be able to pop the PlayStation disc into my my OG Xbox and listen to music off of it. Might be able to do that. I don't know.
That actually might be worth checking out because that'd be
That might work.
interesting.
That might work. I don't know. I know you can do some weird shit. But anyways, so continuing on through this, customize your experience with various accessibility options, including a third-person view, remappable controls, and adjustable text size. Which I really like that they included a third-person view. The way that you'll be able to access third-person view is going to be through, as they just said, the accessibility option. So don't forget to look that up when you get
Woo
to
woo.
play the game. But that's definitely going to be something I try out and probably even play a
Oh,
little bit
so
later. I might even have like
they decided to make the third person view woke
oh my goodness, what does that even mean?
because it's
Dude,
acceptable.
well, yeah, not to, dude. I saw people, and this is what made me take a break from Twitter yesterday. Is I got on Twitter. One of the first things I saw was like the new thing for Avowed, and everybody was excited. And then I like scrolled for like a second underneath, and it was like woke game. I'm identifying as non-binary, and I'm like, oh my god, these people are insane. I
Wait, what
need this.
happened?
Some guy said this is a woke game, so I'm gonna identify as non-binary, as in
Oh,
B-U-Y.
wait.
And I'm like, okay, why is like obviously why is it woke? But nobody's gonna talk about
These
why
people are
it's
mentally
just insane. Yeah, it's just people being insane. So I was like, okay, I'm done with Twitter for today. I'm just gonna take a step back and
Oh
relax.
no, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like one of those like people where like I hear that you don't like something, it kind of makes me want it a little bit more.
Not gonna lie, a little, especially if you're
I'm
like
kind of petty
mad,
like that.
especially if it's a dumb reason to be mad.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of human nature a little bit. It's
I'm not even gonna lie. That is part of the reason I became an Xbox fan in general.
because all the hate it was getting. Yeah, people hated on it.
Well, like I was one of the people that kind of hated on it at first.
Oh,
To be honest,
oh,
I was
you're one of
until I
those.
realized that you could put music on it. And then once I realized that I could download music onto the OG Xbox back in like 2001 or 2002, whenever I got into it, I know it was within like a year of it being out. We had one in our household, but yeah. So yeah, once I figured out there is and I've always kind of been like this, even as a child. Like once I figure out that something else has a maybe a cooler feature than the popular thing that everybody else likes, I usually kind of just go for that. And Xbox hasn't disappointed me every generation with something. Whether it was a great generation or not. Every generation they've always surprised me with something else I couldn't do the previous generation
I
before.
just care about cloud saves being free.
Cloud saves is nice.
That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing.
Cloud saves is nice. What is it called? The
Snap from Xbox One.
shit. I wish. No, I'm talking about just this generation.
Oh
Where your
shit! Quick
game
resume.
no, not quick resume, even though that's pretty useful, but fucks you up sometimes if you don't pay
Sure.
attention.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about when your data, smart delivery.
Yeah.
Smart delivery is like I was watching a video on Linus Tech Tips talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it was somebody talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro, and they were talking about how they uploaded their data, and I was just like, dude, I don't even think about
What year is this?
Yeah.
and I forgot that like that's something that they still don't have built in for their ecosystem yet, which is wild to me. That just goes without even thinking to me. Like I play something from last generation or the generation before, I just throw it in. I don't think about, oh, do I need to go to my Xbox and go pull that save out of there? That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I take it for granted.
Oh,
But to be fair, it's something that should be, like I say, I take it for granted, but it should be standard practice. That's how things should work. But some companies just don't do that.
yeah, yeah. Imagine pulling your watch history from your TV from your front room to your bedroom for Netflix.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
your
it'd be
watch
silly.
history. That'd be wild for it not to remember something that you did already. But anyway, so this is kind of what you were talking about a little bit. You were talking about the different
The
editions, Matt.
Steelbook,
And
yeah.
here is the Steelbook right here for $94.
Yeah, man.
It comes with a base game digital code, no disc, but
I
it
get,
does come with
yeah,
the CD book. So
sure.
you got that. Um, it has up to 5 days early access, 2 premium skins. Yeah, the access to the art book and the soundtrack that you barely have access to. The steel
About,
book, which you get to hold,
yeah.
and a map of
A physical
the
map?
living land. And I'm assuming that is a
Yes.
physical map.
Shut up and take my
Yes.
money.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. Because here's the thing, you know this, Ham.
I do like getting physical shit.
Yeah, I
For
like
that
having
reason.
the map because that's something I can put up on like the wall or something
Right.
if I really want to. Um, Also, it's the premium edition of the game, and with that base the digital code, it's like, yeah, I don't love the idea of buying something physically and getting a code for it, but in my case, I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't benefit me because you know, Ham, I've got 3 Xboxes in this house. I got
Uh-huh.
2 in here and I got 1 in my bedroom.
Uh-huh.
So if I get that code or if I just got the game that steelbook and I only had the disc, well then I can play it on my Series X. And granted, I have Game Pass and everything, so like I can play it anywhere. But it's one of those things that take out Game Pass out of the equation, you can only play it on the Series X. With the code, I can play it anywhere. And in fact, with the code, I believe I would also own it because I'm pretty sure it's cross buy on PC.
Yep.
So, like, I mean, that actually kind of works out in my favor, honestly. So, I'm kind of with Cozy on this. That might be what I go for, honestly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, it is cool getting a disc, right? Like, I have a disc right here. Like, I got this disc right here, and of College Football 25. But the problem is I had to purchase it again because I wanted to be
Yeah.
able to play it on my Series S.
Yep.
So I haven't even taken this out of the wrapper, as you can see. You can see all the glaring on it, right? No
Yep.
reason to. What's the point in taking it out of the wrapper? I mean, I need a digital copy to be able to play when I'm on the road. I go to mom's. I like to take the Series S with me. And soon, whenever it happens, Xbox is supposed to be allowing you to play games on cloud, right? That
Yeah.
you own.
Yeah.
Which I know Cozy probably can't fucking wait for that shit. She can't fucking wait for that shit, especially with all the digital codes that she gets and shit like that from different people that she hasn't been able to dig into some of the games that she owns right now. I think Metaphor is up there. Isn't that
Yep.
one of them? So yeah, once Xbox drops the ability for you to play your own games via cloud, Cozy's going to be on that day one. I'm going to be on it day one as well because I've been playing games like um fucking game called, I can't think of it. Goddamn, what is this game? Dragon Age. I've been playing a ton of Dragon Age. I could not think of it for whatever reason. I've been playing a ton of Dragon Age, and I've been playing that sometimes from remote play in my bedroom. And I don't really love remote play so much because it has to like tether back and forth with your actual console. So I'd rather play it on the cloud where it just has to go to the cloud. It doesn't have to go to the internet, then to my console, and then retrieve the data back and forth. I feel like there's, in my opinion, maybe Cozy, you can correct me, but I feel like there's more latency with the remote play than there is with the cloud gaming.
Yeah. There's yeah, there is. Cloud gaming is pretty, I mean, I guess it might depend on where you live, but I've noticed with the remote, it's like seems to be a little lag, probably but I don't know why. But yeah, with cloud it's pretty much very, very, very responsive. Doesn't always look pretty, but it's very responsive.
And don't get me wrong, the remote play is pretty good for Xbox. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Um, and but like with the walls that I have in my apartment, I'd rather it just be the Wi-Fi that I need to connect to instead of it needing to connect to my Xbox because I do lose connection quite a bit depending on what part of my household that I'm in. Depending on the walls that it has to go through and stuff like that. So like if I can take one less piece of communication to it, I'll take it, and it'll make it a little bit easier for me, in my opinion, probably.
Yeah. There's also the news with Avowed that it's coming to, I saw people like using the headline, it's coming to another platform. Obviously, you know what they're playing into. But BattleNet, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I'm not going to buy it on BattleNet, but I just thought it was interesting. Obviously, Microsoft now owning BattleNet, maybe they start using that a little bit more. Maybe they start integrating that a little bit more. Maybe I know everybody wants, me included, wants Game Pass on Steam. Maybe the first place it goes is BattleNet. Because I mean, if Avowed's going there, Avowed's not Blizzard. Avowed's not Activision. That's an Xbox Game Studios developer. I just thought it was interesting. It was coming to BattleNet. I think that's really cool.
All right, so So I'm pretty excited for Avowed. I know Matt is crazy excited for it.
Oh yeah,
Cozy seems interested in it.
Interested. Interested.
Rosie seems
Interested.
mildly interested.
Aren't we? Are we
Vaguely.
not pretending that Obsidian is the workhorse of Microsoft?
I mean, they've made one good game, Cozy.
Hey,
Let's
shut up.
calm down.
Shut up.
Oh my god, Matt, disrespect.
Shut up. You're disrespectful and wrong. And you know you're disrespectful.
Thank you. I
Goodness
appreciate it.
gracious. All right, so this was going to be the way that we end today's show. So if you don't know already, I'm going to be heading out to Los Angeles to go to the Peacock Theater to see the Game Awards in person. But Keeley here in a few days is going to be listing off the nominees for the Game Awards. And I just wanted you guys to throw out your nominees for the year, not what you think is going to be
Yeah.
on there. We'll talk about that when it's actually there because
Yeah.
I just think that's just less interesting. We're going to be talking about that for probably the next couple weeks. So let's list off our game of the years, or and I want you to at least list off 4 games.
4?
Yep. So Cozy,
Wait, you have
you
to come
go
back
first.
to me. I can't think of 4 games I've played this year.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
you can.
From
Fine.
this year.
Fine. Cozy, you'll go last. Matt, going ahead.
Yo. So, I mean, this is kind of easy because I've got some stuff fresh in my mind, but I'll say the first one up. I'll do this in no particular order. Dragon's Dogma 2 is there. I'd put Space Marine 2 there. It's tough because we're kind of a little bit away from what my fourth one would be, but my third one is Dragon Age Veilguard. My fourth one, God willing, is going to be Stalker 2. I've got pretty high hopes for Stalker 2. But if it's games I've played already, man, I'd probably throw a Hellblade in there just for the experience that Hellblade was. So Dragon's Dogma 2, Hellblade, Veilguard, and then Space Marine 2 would be my 4 so far. Fingers crossed.
All right. So I'm gonna list off. I don't know how many I'm gonna list off, and it's not in any particular order. But these were like my games of the year. Um. So I'm gonna throw Helldivers 2 in there because it was big time for
Oh
me,
my
and
god!
I
Wow.
really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
For a hot minute. Metaphor Refantasio. I know I said not in any particular order, but that might be the top one for me.
Yeah.
I'll also throw in Astrobot in there. I really enjoyed that game, and for its genre, I think it killed it. I think it nailed and did exactly what it was supposed to do. So, shout out to them. Shout out to the small folks out there at God, what is that developer name? Oh, Pocket Pair, right?
Oh,
Shout out
Ah,
to
Power
Pocket
Roll.
Pair, right? Because they've been
Yeah.
making noise as a small development company all year long, and they shook up the most sacred of companies of the big 3, that is
Yeah.
Nintendo. They shook them to the core and got them running to the books, trying to figure out how they could possibly sue and get some sort of reparations from that situation. But anyways, yeah, Pocket Pair with Power World. That game wasn't just incredible for me, but it was also really awesome for my daughter. She loves that and
Nice.
she still plays that game today. So I'm I'm very happy with how that game rolled out and how it's continuing to get support, and it's actually dropped in further places, and now it's getting more updates and whatnot, more features to the game. So that's been great. Um, let's see, Dragon's Dogma. 100% deserves it. That's the first game that I played with that much like fidelity without load screens. Like it to like to me it was pretty incredible how I'd go into like the craziest of caves and come right
Yeah.
outside and it'd be just nice out and there's no load screens in between or anything. That was great, and I think that edged out Dragon Age for me, was Dragon's Dogma, just for how much more open and it was allowing you to switch your class a lot more instead of just traits. Right? You could
Yeah.
completely be a different person in Dragon's Dogma, which I thought was amazing. I want to put college football in there, but I'm not gonna. They missed the mark on too many different things for me to put that game in there. That did come out this year, and that game was hot fire. Stellar Blade is another one that hit the cusp, but didn't quite get in there for me. I really enjoyed Stellar Blade, and I thought that was a fire game. Just wasn't at that top of the list for me. Um, Sinuous Sinuous Saga, same thing. It's up there for me. I really enjoyed it. Loved the story, but there just wasn't like I either wanted more story, a little bit more story, or more gameplay. One of the two, and it just felt really tight. And I liked how tight the story was. I respected that, and I think it was a really good game. It's just we're talking about like top games of the year, and this was a pretty good year, especially third party wise. I feel like Capcom came out with something that I'm missing.
And Capcom did do Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay. So Dragon's Dogma. Oh,
Yeah.
not Square Enix, which has Final Fantasy, but I'm not that interested in it, so it's not my game of the year. And I'm also thinking of Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero from Bandai Namco, which they've
Yeah.
done a few things this year, that being that game and what was the other game that the guy made before he Sandland. Sandland. They also had Sandland that came out earlier this year that I've been meaning to check out. I just keep kind of forgetting about it, to be honest. There's been a lot more excellent games than a lot of people will lead you to believe this year. I thought it was a good year for gaming all around. Whether you were on, Black Myth Wukong. I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I might have to. I might have to. That might be the one game that I didn't play that I'm gonna throw in there, just because I'm not really dying to play that game. Just because I'm kind of tired of
that
like
kind
the
of game.
life or death feel of dodging, swing. I know there's no parrying in that game, so I'm leaving that out in particular. But like it's very soulsy in the way of like when you get crushed, you feel crushed, right? In comparison to something like Dragon Age, where you are doing parrying, dodging, and shit like that, you're not gonna get crushed in one. You're not gonna get like one hit killed or two hit killed and stuff like that. I just wanted to play something a little bit more relaxing for a little while, especially since I liked Elden Ring and played that as recent as I have. So, but those are my games of the years. Cozy, are
You
you
know,
finally ready? I gave
Uh,
you
I'd add
plenty
one
of time.
more. I'd add
okay.
one more to mine is First Descendant. Just out of the sheer amount of time I played it in such a
Well,
short amount of time.
what if I just
Wow,
settled
First
for
Descendant was
3?
dope.
What if I just settled for
Yeah.
3?
Give us something cozy.
Yeah, I
Or
can give you
Cozy,
3. I can give you 3.
give us
And then add
Uh,
three.
one. Then add
huh?
one. Then add one.
So I'm go with Helldivers 2.
All
Yeah, you
right.
played the shit out of that game.
I absolutely love that game. It was everything I expected, and I was talking about it. You guys know I was hyping it up all last year.
Yeah,
Um,
you've been on that game.
I'm also going to go with Frostpunk 2.
Oh, okay.
It's like Frostpunk, the first Frostpunk, but better. You know. And Frostpunk, the first Frostpunk was really a surprise game that I tried, and I was like, huh, this is so much fun. I had like wrist cramps playing it. And I'm actually going to go with Sandland.
Sandland. Okay.
Um, and I'm going to also say that if you haven't played it, it's a fun game.
I would probably like that game because I do like building and stuff like that. And that game seems pretty open with a lot of story as well added to it. And Akira Toriyama, right? I think
Yep.
I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
Which was the creator of Dragon Ball Z and whatnot. Rest his soul. He passed away early, not that long ago, actually. Really,
Yeah.
it was like right around the time Sparking Zero came out, if I remember. So I mean, rest his soul. That's too bad. But he created a unstoppable train of content, not just Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is what a lot of people can think of off the top of their head, but he created so much more than that. If you look into his history and
Mm-hmm.
his catalog, Sandland being one of them, like that IP didn't just show up out of nowhere.
Yep.
That IP's been around for a hot minute. So you guys make sure to check out his work and whatnot. But that's pretty much the gist of today's show, y'all. I appreciate everybody that came out, checked us out. Those of you that are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to know when we go live. Hit the bell so
We're
you're
always live.
so you're notified. We do usually have a show 4 to 5 times a week. Just kind of depends on Loke's schedule and sometimes when I have emergencies. But we always are doing bullshitting every Friday, no matter what. And we always will be doing as of recently, I've been nailing on my Thursday show. Monday show's been killing it. It's kind of been the Tuesday and Wednesday show that's been kind of a little bit of a hamper as of lately, but that's more or less just because Loke's going through a lot of stuff right now, and I can't really talk about everything that he's going through, but just know that he's doing his best to get back to normalcy and whatnot. But I appreciate everybody that showed up. I want everybody on the panel. So Matt and Cozy, going ahead and please sign yourself out. Let everybody know where they can find you. Go on ahead and go first, Cozy.
You can find me right now, just wherever this show is happening, whenever this show is happening, which is always, the Friday slot. Clear your Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern and other times. Yeah. Anyway, and you can find me after this on Wise Old Gamer. I'm not really doing much because I'm in school and I have a lot of other obligations at the moment. I'm just busy. But I'll let you guys know once I start doing more.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show. Thanks for showing up, Cozy. You did your thing. You did what you do. But anyways,
Didn't like Pepper.
oh yeah, thanks a lot, Pepper, for making all that noise, letting us know how you're feeling, and hopefully the police arrive soon because I did call them. But anyways, Matt likes games. Let's crack in. How you been doing? What's coming out in the near future for your channel? I know you're always cooking and working on something. I
Yeah.
mean, I know one big thing is coming out next
Oh.
Wednesday that you're going to be
Mm.
covering like as soon as you can possibly get your hands on it to record it, right?
Yes.
But but maybe you have something else going on, and also let them know the regular things that you do on your channel.
Yeah. So, well, this weekend I'll be working on a Veilguard review.
Whoop whoop.
I already got most of the stuff recorded. I just want to capture more gameplay so I can have it in the video and everything. And then on top of that, Ham's talking about Stalker 2. I'll be covering that for sure. Soon as that game releases. But then obviously, I mean, my channel, Matt Likes Games, you can find me there every week, videos every week. And then Mondays at 8 p.m. is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and It's Me Tuan. And then Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the Two Player Podcast with myself and Ham Solo right here. And then Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern, you can find me here for this show with everybody here, these guys and gals. And that's where you can find me.
I realized that I didn't set the title correctly for Twitter, so it says Death Stranding and it's talking about Death Stranding. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's on it's on the YouTube channel, so at least I have it correct where it's actually going to be saved and continue to be able to be watched much easier for much more people that like to watch things, because people don't really go to Twitter to watch long form content. But anyways, thanks everybody for showing up, and everybody that hit that like button and shared it out. I appreciate y'all too. Make sure to check us out this coming Monday. We should be back with Loke, hopefully. If not, I'll be on there doing something. I don't know. I might hit up Matt or hit up Ashis or Ty, see what they're up to, and have them pop through. But make sure to check us out this coming Monday. My lady, I'm not sure. She might do a little bit of Halo streaming tomorrow, but I'm not going to give any absolutes on that because she is my wife, and I ain't going to say she's going to do something unless she says it. So I'm just going to leave that alone.
Stay out of trouble.
She'll play if she wants to, and more than likely she'll play. I just don't know if she'll be on stream playing. But anyways, thanks everybody for coming through, showing up, showing out. This is your boy Ham Solo signing out for TSW Gaming. The Bull Sitting is the show that we were on today. As I always say, make sure y'all are keeping it gaming or keeping it moving. Peace out.